and welcome back to Rick's Room. Now, this is the show where I get to sit down with some of my favorite people and act like we're at the end of a busy conference, which we used to do all the time. We do it a little less now than probably we should. But at the end of those shows, when we're so exhausted and we finally get a chance to see someone we've wanted to talk to all day, those conversations were the best part for me. And so in this show, I simulate them. Now, today, my guest is well known throughout the mortgage industry, the real estate industry, and increasingly in probably the fastest growing industry in the country. And that's dealing with people like me, seniors who are growing into the final chapters of their life. I'm going to ask him about it today. You may know him from his business in the mortgage lending business, where he actually wrote the training manual that taught thousands of loan officers across the country how to do the business right. My guest today, Brian Sachs. Brian, thank you for being with me.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to sit down with you.
Well, it's good to catch up, Brian. It's been too long since I've had a chance to talk to you.
Absolutely.
And I reminded myself before we got on this call that you're not just a home finance guy. You're also a licensed real estate agent, and you're an entrepreneur that's done probably a dozen businesses since I've known you.
Yes.
So I want to catch up and find out what's going on in your world now and what's keeping you busy today.
You know, I learned something interesting about myself, Rick. I enjoy starting businesses. Okay. So I enjoy creating the baby. And once the baby's like a teenager, I'm no longer interested. But yeah, I mean, you know, I found a very, very interesting way. I'm going to put it this way, because this is who I am. Let me ask you a question. Rick.
Okay.
If you're a real estate agent, pretend, right?
Yep.
What if you could get paid to go on listing appointments?
Oh, I would like that very much.
And you would get paid whether you got the listing or you didn't get the listing.
I would like that even more.
Okay. And what if you only worked with motivated sellers who absolutely needed the money?
Well, that would be ideal.
Okay. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, how?
So, you know, I'm in God's waiting room, I think they call it, where I am. I'm in South Florida, and they call it God's waiting room for a reason.
Yep.
And there are literally hundreds of thousands, probably millions of folks who are in this situation. They moved down here to retire. They're retired. They are now up in age, 80s, 90s. Their kids came down for Christmas or New Year's or Thanksgiving and said, you know, mom and pop don't look too hot. You know, they ain't getting around too well these days. And they need to move on to the next stage, which is moving to either an assisted living, independent living, or a memory care community, right? So every real estate agent and their mother is probably after them. I don't come in as a real estate agent. I come in and say, okay, number one, we can help you find a community if you want one. And number two, we will help you move, because the kids don't want to come down and literally take things to the dump, take things to auctioneers, actually physically move them to another community.
Well, yeah,
right?
Many of them are our age. We're too old for that stuff.
Right. But I mean, if you're in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
And your parents live in Tampa, you can't just pop down for 2-3 weeks. That's what it's going to take.
Right.
Okay. And so what we do is we come in and we are senior move managers. We can help with placement in the different communities. And by the way, if you do have a house, you can sell it as well.
Oh, Brian, that's brilliant. That's really brilliant.
You're not coming in as a realtor. You're building and gaining their trust, helping them through this transition, making sure mom and dad are in an appropriate, mom or dad, or mom and dad, in an appropriate community for their needs. And there's one on every corner here, so it's hard to distinguish. And by the way, Rick, these communities, they will pay you the first month's rent typically.
Wow.
And they're not cheap. Most of them on the low end are about $5,000, and on the high end, $10,000 a month.
Right. Well, you've described something that must happen hundreds of times a day down in Florida.
every day. But it's not in Florida. I mean, we're in the epicenter. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Any old people where you are in Wisconsin?
Oh, yeah, yeah. We have a few. I'm one of them.
Just a few. You have people there in their 80s or 90s?
Oh, well, we have, yeah, a lot of those too. Yeah.
Quite a few, right?
Yeah.
It's every city, everywhere. Let me give you
Wow.
a really interesting statistic. Right now, 10,000 people per day are turning 65.
Yep. Yep. I've heard that. I've heard that.
10,000 per day. And so, I get asked, several people have asked me to put together a course on this because it really is very cool. Think about their motivation, these people. They're going into a community, their equity is tied up in their property. And so they have to sell that property. The kids don't want to fork up the money, right? For 5-6 months. They want that property sold. And guess what? Now, if I have a network of investors, because a lot of these homes need a little bit of love, right?
Yep.
Guess what I'm able to give investors? Off-market opportunities. Off-market. Because it's not listed.
God, Brian, I'm thinking back. Everything you've done in your career has prepared you for this because you've worked on all sides of this.
Yes.
And you had parents that retired to Florida.
It was exactly my situation. That's how I became so intimately familiar with it.
That's fantastic.
You have to have the story. You can't just. I have this story. I was an only child. My parents were up in age. They went through nursing homes. I went through literally everything: assisted living, nursing homes, hospice, you name it, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So you know exactly what those people are feeling, and that has to be a complex bunch of emotions as they're going through into that transition into the final chapter.
I had no idea. I had no idea any of these things were available. So
Yeah.
I was going to communities. Thank God I have a great wife. She helped me. I packed them. I unpacked them. I mean, it was absolute chaos. I had no idea. But there's a whole industry around this. But, every real estate agents, Rick, they think that they're going to come at it like this, I'll market to these people and I'll have, well, guess what? You and a million others. But when I come in to try to help them with the actual transition and take a load off the kids, I mean, they absolutely love it. I'm swamped. I mean, really, I'm actually doing a hoarder next week. It's a 2-day job. And she's moving into a senior living community. And you know what? We're not shy to charge her 10 grand.
Yeah. And it's tough to get to that age and not be a hoarder to some degree, right? Because you have all your kids' memorabilia, you have all that stuff, and maybe grandkids. So what a job. And you're exactly right. The children they're not equipped to deal with it. Right.
But it's also, I'll tell you something else. Like, this lady's a hoarder, right? So think about this. When your children tell you to get rid of things like china, cabinets, now it's a fight, right? When I come in and say, hey, the sofa can't go because it can't go, it don't fit, right?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm the bad guy and I act as a buffer between the kids and the parents.
Oh, yeah.
No ill will. Hey, you can't put 12 gallons in a 10-gallon container. It ain't going to fit.
Right. Wow, that is an important job. I mean, I've lost entire relationships over pieces of furniture that ended up in the wrong place, right?
Yeah, and these folks, look, these things were important to them, so it's emotional. Yeah. These folks, they're China. My mother's China. She loved her China and her silver. And you know what? I couldn't even get rid of it, honestly. The silver had to have melted down. Nobody wants it.
Yeah. It's that nostalgia that's hard for people to give up.
Yeah, 100%. But, we act as that buffer.
I was going to ask you why you're not already working on the book, because I know you wrote the training book for loan officers that was probably the best seller in our industry for a couple of decades.
Yeah.
But now I see you're just too dang busy. You're going to be, I
love this. And I get to the point, Rick, where I really want to share it with others once I've mastered it. There's so many, excuse my language, bullshit artists out there.
Yep.
That tell you do this, do that. Well, they ain't doing it. So how can they tell you if it works or not? Or maybe they did it 20 years ago.
Right, right. Well, I remember when you were in Connecticut doing mortgages and helping people get into homes, the local TV stations were always trying to get you on to talk about the market. You
Yeah,
still do that stuff with people in Florida or no?
I really don't. I
Yeah.
should. I should.
Well, you could.
And I could, but I haven't. I've honestly just been too busy really making these relationships and really getting to know the business and the ins and outs. But I'm on Facebook. I'm sure you are too. And I see these. There's this group called Real Estate Mastermind, and I see all these realtors. It's comical to me. I mean, it's sad. It's funny and sad at the same time. Saying, okay, well, I haven't closed a deal. And now what? What should my next move be? It's because they're looking around. You know who Jim Rohn is?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jim
Great sales
Rohn,
trainer from way back. Yeah.
right. He said something so famous. You want to be successful? Look around at what everybody else is doing and do the exact opposite. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always done. In the mortgage business, everybody's telling you it's volume, volume, volume. No, it's not. It's really not volume. Okay. It's how much effort you're going to put into a deal and how much you're going to make on that deal, and then concentrating just on those clients. Don't be everything to everybody. Niche down. In this, it's you're not going to have special marketing to reach these folks. And I know there's this thing out there right now that scores houses and tells you which one's more likely to sell.
Yeah.
But what if they're calling you first as a senior move manager and a placement manager? They love you because you're giving them help and you're giving them advice. The kids trust you. And by the way, I can help you sell the house if you need. I am a licensed SRES, senior real estate specialist, but I'm not leading with that. I'm leading with, let's get your parents settled. Let's get them moved. Oh, you need to sell the property? We can help you with that too.
You're going right for the pain point. You're going right for what they need now. That's brilliant, Brian, but it's not unusual for you. I've seen you do this multiple times in our relationship so far. We're bumping up on
it. If they say, we already have an agent, no worries. I'm sure your agent's terrific. I'm still getting paid for the placement and I'm still getting paid for the move.
Right. Right. Brian, I could talk to you for the rest of the day about the stuff you're doing because you're thinking differently like you always do. So please promise that you'll come back on the show in the future.
Absolutely. Anytime you want. Anytime you want. How's that? Open invitation.
Brian Sachs, he's our guest today. He's a real estate agent. He's a mortgage professional, and now he's doing something even more important down in Florida. He's a guy you should know if you don't already. So find him on LinkedIn. Give him a follow. Brian, thanks again.
Thank you, Rick.